Hi everyone, this is Jill Celeste from the Celeste Marketing Academy, where I teach entrepreneurs all they need to know about marketing so they can become the director of marketing for their business. Today, let's talk e-newsletters. This is a marketing tactic that I love. I use it for myself. I produce an e-newsletter every 7 days and send it out to my tribe. And I really think that for those of you who are purpose-driven entrepreneurs, connecting with your audience through an e-newsletter is critical for tribe building and building those relationships. So you may be wondering, okay, well, how do I do an e-newsletter? And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video strategy. So let's first talk about step number one, selecting your service provider. There are tons of service providers out there, from MailChimp, Aweber, Constant Contact, Ontraport, Infusionsoft, you name it. So you need to figure out what it is you want your service provider to offer, and then go find that service provider that meets those needs. Now, I will say a word of caution. A lot of times we as entrepreneurs get frugal, and we may choose a free option such as MailChimp. Now, nothing against MailChimp. It's a fantastic program. But what happens is when we're ready to upgrade, when MailChimp doesn't meet the needs of what we need for our email, then we have to migrate, and that can be a pain. So if something interests you, go ahead and purchase it now. It is so much easier to sort of grow into your email provider. So that's the first step. The second thing you want to do is you want to think about what you want your newsletter to look like, the look and feel. A lot of these email providers have templates, and you can absolutely use that, or you can have someone design one for you. Just make sure it matches your look and feel and your brand identity. So that's the second step. Number three, once you think about the flow of your newsletter, what is it going to look like from top to bottom? So here's some ideas that you could consider. You could have a personal letter or greeting at the top, then move into some type of article or main blog post or video strategy. You could also then link to other things that you might have seen on the web. I have seen people do that. If they published elsewhere, they'll put a link there. You can also include your bio with your as seen box so that people get an idea as to who you are. And if you do events, list those there as well. They're just some ideas to get your creative juices flowing, but consider that flow and how you want your newsletter to appear. Then I want you to think about your topics and brainstorm a list of topics. Because often what happens is we think, okay, I'm going to do a newsletter every month or every 2 weeks, and then we don't know really what to say. So if you sit down with your calendar and sort of think about the topics you want to discuss in each newsletter, makes it enormously more helpful and saves you time. Now, it doesn't mean you can't change anything, but at least you have some type of foundation that you can use on those months or weeks where you're like, I'm not sure what to write about. You'll have a list that you can refer to. Then the next step is I want you to consider your frequency and what day of the week you want to send the newsletter out. Now, I'm going to challenge you. I want you to think about sending out your newsletter once a week. I have been doing this for years. Every Thursday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern, my newsletter goes out, and people have come to expect it. It really kind of trains them to say, oh, it's Thursday, there's Jill's newsletter. So a good benefit of this also, though, is that I am contacting my tribe every week. Every week they're getting some value from me. And that is the advantage of doing a weekly newsletter. But if that seems a little arduous at first, then start monthly or every 2 weeks and then build up to the weekly frequency. Then give some thought to what day you're going to send out your newsletter and what time. Some statistics show that like Monday morning is really bad because people are kind of getting, fumbling through their email, don't really watch or read anything. Some folks say send it at lunchtime. Do some research, experiment, and figure out what works best for your crowd. Don't be afraid to change it if you think it's going to be more beneficial. And then finally, get your editorial calendar made. You've done a brainstorm. Go ahead and get your calendar, plot the topics so that you know exactly what you want to do. And then once you're done with your editorial calendar, it's time to send your newsletter. So I hope these tips kind of get you started on the thought process for creating an e-newsletter. They're a lot of fun. There are a lot of interesting and creative ways you can connect with your tribe. And if you need additional marketing assistance, head on over to my website at jillceleste.com. And until next time, here's to your marketing success, and have a great day.